America's colorful tapestry was woven with global contributions from a whole host of ambitious men and women who came to our shores to enhance their lives. In Maracay, Venezuela, sugarcane and baseball were king. Major League Baseball has been blessed with tons of talent from Venezuela, and in the 1970s, it was all Alex Parra wanted to do. As a shortstop and second baseman, he lived on the diamond. Alex was happy with a ball and a bat, but in the 70s, his family had an opportunity to move to Spain. All of a sudden, Alex's entire world is turned upside down. Nobody's trying to play baseball in Spain, but soccer. Soccer is a different story. The Parras moved to Madrid, and within 2 weeks, Alex is a Spanish sensation on the soccer pitch. His first day in Spain, he kicked around a ball and thought, this is kind of fun. I think I love soccer now. The Parras spent a few years in Spain before moving back to Venezuela. During their absence, a crazy connection had been established between LSU's veterinarian school and aspiring veterinarian students in Venezuela. At the time, Alex wanted to be a vet, and securing a visa to the U.S. and affording several years of schooling in the States, it was a dream, but a pretty difficult task to achieve. Certainly not easy. Yet one day in 1980, Alex's mom, Letitia, came into his room, and there was an envelope in her hand. Inside was a student visa, a plane ticket to the United States, and some cash. Unbeknownst to Alex, his mom and dad, Jesus, had scrimped and saved to send their son to America. Alex had been accepted into LSU's veterinarian school, and it was time to go. Alex enjoyed Baton Rouge and made the most of his time at LSU, but he really missed soccer. His timing was incredible. A few miles south of BR, Lester Bema was putting together the first men's soccer program in Nicholls history. Alex heard about this upstart program and decided to reach out to Lester. Now, put yourself in Letitia and Jesus' shoes. They sent their son to America to become a veterinarian doctor, and now he wants to transfer to Nicholls to play soccer. But they did not stand in his way. Alex became an instantaneous leader with the Colonels. He was a captain all 4 years and became one of the top goalkeepers in the region. He was a 2-time all-conference defensive selection. He won a bunch of awards and helped lead Nicholls to the 1984 SEC tournament. He graduated from Nicholls in 1984 and proceeded to accept an offer from Lester to join his staff as an assistant coach. He went back to school and grabbed another degree in business administration. It was during that time that Alex met Tina Ponch. Alex loved his American life, but with an expiring student visa, he returned to Venezuela. Tina wasn't having it. She traveled to South America and made it clear that Alex's future was in the United States. At this point, the entire Ponch family was in favor of Alex returning, and they did what they could to facilitate the process. Tina and Alex would go on to marry before bringing a son into this world, and Sebastian is here today along with Tina's family. I mentioned some of these crazy Colonel coincidences that we have in our class of inductees today, and I'm reminded of our athletic event to start the 2018-2019 season at the World War II Museum in New Orleans. We had our big Colonel Caravan kickoff, and it was fitting to do it at the World War II Museum because the museum's CEO and president is a Nicholls alum, and Stephen Watson is such a wonderful host for our kickoff event each year. Today, Alex's father-in-law is in attendance. It is Veterans Day weekend 2018, and Caswell Ponch is a former Army man and served on the USS North Carolina during the Pacific Theater. At 93 years old, we have a World War II veteran with us, and Mr. Ponce, it is an honor to be in your presence. Alex Parra was naturalized as an American citizen in 2010 and continues to call this country home. He is a founding member of one of the largest soccer clubs in the entire nation, one of the largest youth club nations in America. He was part of the foundation of the Lone Star Soccer Club, and they continue to produce some of the best players in the States to this day. Alex Parra, welcome to the Nicholls State University Hall of Fame. Hello, everybody. Whew. Nothing that has happened to me in this life, including my great friends, my great family, would have never happened, ever, without the influence of that lady that is down here. That's Leticia Renata Gutierrez. She was the one coming for a vacation back in 1980. And when I finally got my visa, as Brian was mentioning, he gave not just the plane ticket, he gave me cash, and he told me, this is it, it's meant to be. Because at the time, she was trying to come over here as a tourist, just to visit. That's when my visa came to go to LSU. So it's extremely coincidental. And at that time, it was a cross point of staying in Venezuela and trying to play, probably at a higher level. I was defined already as a soccer player. I have left behind the baseball ball. But I have to tell you something. I did little league for about 4 years, probably. And remember, the baseball is this big, it's hard, and it's painful when it hits you. So take that, and then take it, blow it up in air with a bladder, softer and slower. And he's right. I remember I was in the 6th grade, and the way it works in Spain, you play for school. And if you're good enough, then you go to a National Institute of Sports. And then they pick you there if you want to go to the pro team. Speaking Barca, Real Madrid, some of you are familiarized with the names of those teams. When I entered the 5th grade, they had a goalkeeper already. He's been with them for about maybe 5-6 years. Well, the poor kid lasted maybe 3 or 4 years. Once the coach saw me, how quick my reactions were. Because remember, I spent 4 or 5 years catching a baseball, or trying to catch a baseball. In reality, didn't like baseball that much, but it was the only thing to do. And I did it because my brother, Chuchu, and I think he's the true athlete of the family. He's a champion in South America right now, golf. He ended up in golf. At the time, he was a baseball pitcher. Great baseball pitcher, champion bat, and he was dating the homecoming queen. You tell me what kind of competition I have to look up after. And then when I'm about to catch up, then at that older age, he became a golf player, and he became a champion, natural athlete. So, an example to me. As things go, and then I'm going to stop for a little bit, I got to make sure that my mom was mentioned because of the efforts. I mean, he gave her life and effort not just to me, but to my brother and to my sister.
to make sure that she gave us life, natural life. She gave us birth, but then she gave us a life on her sacrifice. So she was gone in 2012, but she's with us. And then I got her picture and her ashes out of my chair. And she goes with me anywhere I go. Before I go on with my little story, I have to thank the selective committee of the Hall of Fame. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you to the president. It's been a run since athletic director called me maybe about 3 weeks ago. It's been a run. It's been a race. Really, really nice. I mean, the feeling is unbelievable. And once I say that, I will go something very important to me, because then I became a coach. Now I coach and I try to prepare players at the high school level or youth level to come to college. So I have to, since I went through that and I had the experience, I gotta let them know that what's gonna happen. And ladies and gentlemen, believe me that most people that we train and go to college to play sports, they quit because they not prepared to be in the system. They not prepared to do what they need to do on that first year. Because remember, when you do youth sports, you have your mom, you have your dad, you have your uncles, and everybody going to the games. And there's a lot of support, and sometimes they are actually picking you up, pushing you up to go to games and do what you need to do as an athlete at that age. When you get to college, what happens? You by yourself, you're alone. You don't have the driving force behind you. Some of you know, I can see some of the faces knowing. If you have children doing sports, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So that's when I think one of the things that we changed in my club. We have a whole department and somebody, a full-time coach that takes care of the transition to make sure that what they're going to be facing within the next few years. Coming back to the importance of, the reason I mention this is because we were student athletes in here. That's probably one of the toughest jobs you'll ever do when you do that. You have to go to school, and then you have to go and train. You go to school maybe until noon, after you take about 4 hours, and then you rest, and then in the afternoon you gotta do 3 or 4 hours of training. And then when you're tired, then you gotta go to the library. So it's a whole process that some people don't really understand what they go through, what you have to go through. And that's one of the things that we have to, that we train and pay attention to. For that reason, I thank the administration and the president and everybody and all the faculty of Nicholls State University. I do say that, and I mean it. Because remember, if you don't make the grade, you cannot play. That's number one. You gotta be a student. You gotta be in charge of what you wanna do with something that is gonna last you a lifetime. Sports, they end unless you become a professional or unless you become a coach, like in my case. So it's very important to me that in my years, as soon as they knew that I was involved either coaching or playing with the Nicholls University soccer team, teachers were different because they understood the effort that they needed to be put into that. Some of those people, maybe some of those teachers, I try to reach out for them. We'll mention Dr. Sidney Thibodeau on the science department. Some of you may remember him. Dr. Robert Falgood on the animal sciences department. Great man, Alex Lasagne. If I'm able to talk or write a speech right now, it's because maybe 25 years ago I took a class with him, and some of you probably did. Very important that I have to express my gratitude. And then there was a very important lady in my life, Miss Betty Elfert, Education Department. And she gave me a job at the time that it was kind of tough. I was not pursuing a PhD, I was not pursuing a master's degree, which I needed to have that job. But somehow she took a chance on me. That allowed me to go to Coach Lester Bima and get a job with him because I was trying to cover my bills somehow, somewhere. And then the combination of jobs allowed me to continue studying and then keeping a student visa, and to continue my pursuit of coaching. Before I go on, I gotta make sure that I thank my family. Okay, I'm going back and forth, and that's okay. Just bear with me. My Venezuela family, my brother, my sister-in-law Mayela in here, and then I have to say hello. They came probably 10,000 miles, all right? They flew to Miami, they flew to Austin, Texas, and then we drove last night, 7 hours, all the way down here, 2 nights ago, actually. And then I have my Texas family, of course. My Texas family is my son, Sebastian, great soccer player as well, but the good thing is that he didn't become a goalkeeper.